Doing is going back historically, and if you look through the 2000s, and I remember the days where when a house was appreciating 4-6%, everybody was tickled pink. But now people are so used to 2% interest rates and houses going up $100,000 in a year and a half. I think we're just getting back to normal.
NateParks with the Chris Austin home team. Are they still called Chris Austin home team?
So Austin home team.
Austin home team.
Yeah, he's very humble, so he's definitely going to take the Chris out of it.
Chris out of it. Backed by Keller Williams. Thank you so much for attending what we are now calling our market minutes. I just named it that, so that's what we're going to be calling it.
Yeah, fun. Thanks for having me.
Hey, no, I know it's a lot. It's busy out there, so I really appreciate you taking out some time.
Absolutely.
Carving out to come visit and tell us what's going on here in Kansas City.
Yeah, Kansas City it's the real estate market it's people want to say it's a correction. I think it's more of bringing us back to normal. Yeah. So I think a lot of people are a little nervous, but we're just trying to re-educate clients as we go. Yeah,
it's not necessarily a negative thing of what's going on in this market now.
No.
For most that probably either got exhausted from the market 6 to 9 months ago, it might be a positive thing, right?
Yeah.
For some of these buyers.
Yeah, I've had a lot of clients where more or less they got out of the market because of not necessarily interest rates, but it was more of the prices.
Probably. Yeah,
the prices
exactly.
Is that when you're having to go $60,000 over, you're not doing appraisals, no inspections, that gets exhausting. So they sit on the sidelines, and unfortunately some waited long enough that interest rates changed, and now we're having to re-educate them.
Yeah, it's not necessarily always a bad thing to come in now where you can do inspections. You can have an appraisal done, not have to worry about that gap that they needed to make up if it did fall short.
Sure.
Or paying that, like you said, 40, 50, 60,000 over asking. So it's almost like, which is the lesser of two evils? Yes, you have higher rates, right? But you're not in that cutthroat competition with those other buyers.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to tell clients, and maybe this is what you're experiencing too, is, hey, put your foot, test the waters again, see what's out there in your price point, have another conversation with a lender, and maybe the loan type that you used, the down payment that you had isn't going to be necessarily kicked out of the offer stack as quickly as it was.
Some of us real estate agents, we've been in the market for quite some time, so we've seen the other side of this.
Correct.
So we can tell clients in a certain way that it's going to get better, but they might be looking at us and we might just be a salesman to them. So what I'm doing is going back historically, and if you look through the 2000s, and I remember the days where when a house was appreciating 4-6%, everybody was tickled pink. But now people are so used to 2% interest rates and houses going up $100,000 in a year and a half. I think we're just getting back to normal, and I think Kansas City is in that bubble where we're going to be protected. I look at it as, I tell them it's the tidal wave, is that the tidal waves on both sides as far as East Coast and West Coast, and usually when things are getting to us, everything is normalizing. So
yeah, our market isn't as extreme. So a lot of what we hear in the media is more targeted towards those coastal communities, either the West Coast or the East Coast, and I agree to that. I think they see more drastic swings than we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other thing that, like what you mentioned, that you've had some more experience. Tell me a little bit about how you got into real estate. I know that was a really rough transition, but tell me about.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was, it was almost one of those let's take out the middleman.
Sure.
I was buying some real estate property. I was in a different business at that time. I owned a food franchise.
Oh, nice.
And
it's exhausting.
Yes, very much so. Found out that wasn't my cup of tea. So I was doing that part time. I started getting into real estate, just getting my feet wet, and then once I knew that I loved it and I was good at it, moved here to Kansas City, back in 2013 or 14. Went full time at it, and it's been great ever since.
Yeah. So, and that's a great point that you've made. The experience that real estate agents have matters so much in this type of market.
Yes.
Because when things were quote unquote easy, which they were for some agents, maybe not getting offers accepted, but houses were selling very, very quickly because we didn't have any inventory. Why does it matter when you choose an agent to work with you, either on the buy side or the sell side, to know that experience, that they have that experience?
Yeah, it's a great question. We have real estate agents through Keller Williams that I'm in the mentor program that they've never seen a resolution of unacceptable conditions, meaning is that they've never had that
Negotiations.
experience. It's some of had never gone to inspections. So having someone that's seasoned that can negotiate on your behalf is crucial. Definitely the market that we're going into right now, you're going to have that as an option, and there's sellers on the other side that are going to help you, through that process.
So you touch on a really great point there. I think that sellers might feel like they missed their boat.
Yes.
What are you telling your clients that are thinking about selling right now?
Yeah, I mean, there's another side to this, is that the appreciation that we've received over on these houses over the last 2 years has been, crazy. What we're calling it, they're getting, we're doing appraisal audits for our clients. So there's a lot of people that just don't understand how much money is in their home.
Sure.
So how we try to keep relationships with our clients is that we're doing CMAs, a comparable market analysis, letting them know, hey, you bought this house for $250,000 3 years ago. Now it's worth $350,000.
Sure.
They might have thought it was only $300,000. So letting them know is that, yes, it's just like the stock market or anything else, is that you might not have got out at the top peak, but there's still a lot of equity in that home that you can use for different things.
And they're also, if they do have to buy after selling, they do have a little bit more available and maybe not as frantic or stressful of a you've got to move now type of situation.
I would think, probably 2 months before now, and then over the next 2 months before February. Sure. It's a great time where you're gonna be able to get your cake and eat it too. You're gonna get a lot of that equity side, and you're still not gonna be fighting with those buyers come February.
Because if you think about it, the 6 month, 9 month previous mark has given some very strong comps to people that are selling now. So when you hear everything about appraisals coming short and having to make up those gaps, that's not truly going to happen as much now. Number one, because the market is normalizing, but number two, we have some really great comps from when homes were selling at the tippy top. Yeah,
and you probably know this better than I do, as far as appraisers are going, they're always catching up with what's going on. So they're going to be using numbers that were 3 or 6 months previously, which is great for
anyone that's selling now.
Absolutely.
Was a little bit painful, 6 to 9 months ago when they didn't have that support for those values. So that's a good message that I feel like we do have to get out, that sellers haven't missed the boat. There's still that untapped equity that is supported with some of the sales that have happened. It might not be 30 or 40 offers, but we don't necessarily want that.
No.
It's comfortable. Explain more on that.
No,
it's not always a good thing to have.
No, it's not at all. It's that there's a lot of people that are getting in trouble, in those instances, is that, you're paying too much, and you want to do the right thing, and that's what we're always talking about. But more importantly, I think it's going to be that you want to make sure that you're getting good value out of it, but it's going to be supported. So there are some cash offers that happen during that time, and those values are not going to be able to be supported down the road. So that's going to be a tough one.
So let's talk about the team really quickly. You have so much support behind you. It allows you to stay in your, what do you call it, your circle of excellence or whatever.
My lane.
Your lane.
Staying in my lane.
So let's talk about, how does your team work? How is it structured? Why does that benefit some of the clients that you might be working with?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a great client care program, which we
I get the mailers. From. I love it. I get the Popeyes.
Yeah. So we do the Popeyes. We have breakfast with Santa. We just had a family photo
photos.
day.
I saw that.
Yeah. So we do a lot to keep in contact with our clients, but more importantly, to show them that we care.
So there's someone that does the paperwork behind the scenes. There's someone that can help run things around if needed. So it truly allows you to be, one-on-one with your client in your circle of where your expertise really matters.
It lets me do a high level of transactions at a high level of quality and care for my clients. But it also gives me the ability to spend some time with my family,
which is very important,
and a lot of things that that are important to me outside of my job.
Which is great to hear. Talking about family, you have such amazing, talented, and beautiful 2 children.
Oh, thank you.
How did you learn to balance that? Was that something that is a learned skill,
or? Well, some of it, it is a learned skill. It might be not necessarily a positive as a negative, as far as family growing up is that I had a dad that worked all the time,
Yeah.
and I had to do a lot of things on my own. So as I was growing up, I always said with my kids is that, whatever job that I take, I'm going to make sure that I'm there and available.
And so, have the flexibility.
Yeah, I mean, because,
Exactly.
I'm 50 years old now. I got a lot
Doesn't
of...
look a day over 32.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. I'm, it's a scenario where those are crucial times that I'm not going to ever get back.
Right.
So I want to make sure that's part of being on a team also, is that they're able to give me that flexibility that I am not doing I'm not doing the transaction coordinating. I'm not, sending out every email or mailer.
Correct.
So they're always keeping me in touch with my clients. Sometimes when I'm off doing other things for my
Exactly. And Nate has very talented athletes for children. So when you're going on those site visits or when you are going to college games,
Yes.
you have a team behind you
Yes.
that your clients won't miss a beat.
Exactly.
So if there is a house that pops up that they want to see, there are two people that can run over there and get them in just as quickly, or if not quicker.
Yeah,
than if you
sometimes,
were home. Yes,
sometimes.
exactly.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's a great experience. Again, the team picks up a lot of those costs, which helps me in that instance. But getting the time to be able to spend time with my family, but
Sure.
to also take care of my clients and be there in a timely fashion. I'm always going to be a part of that
Right.
transaction. Where my strengths come in is in the negotiation part
Sure.
of it. So I'm always going to be a part of that. So that helps us.
I think your strength also comes in being on the Austin home team in that you have a great reputation in our market here in Kansas City,
Yeah.
which means you're connected to a ton of different agents and their networks.
Yeah.
And it may even be the chance where you have a possibility of an off-market listing or something coming on for your clients.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
having that great reputation and those great relationships within our industry, I think also is one of your biggest strengths as well.
No, that's an absolute. We work well with one another. We're also
Yes.
always saying is that our reputation, my individual reputation,
Correct.
is everyone's reputation. So we take that very highly.
Have a lot of pride in that.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
you built a great name and you're just doing an amazing work, and it's been awesome to see your career and your kids and everything
thank you so
just
much.
grow, and it's been so awesome having you here
Yes.
visiting us and giving us a market update. Is there anything else that you feel like we should know right now or be telling the masses,
Yeah,
all of our viewers? We have so many.
Well, I mean, buyers and sellers are both, thinking that this is a horrible market. In Kansas City, up to, I think, $2 million, it's still a seller's market, which a lot of people don't understand. A balanced market
Do we
is
have
going to
much outside of the 2 million? I mean,
I want more $2 million
yes,
listings.
of course we do.
That would be
Yes. So anyone that
fantastic.
has a home worth more than 2 million, let's get it listed.
Yeah, but a balanced market is 4 or 6 months worth of inventory. I mean, we're still down to 1-2 months worth of inventory. So know that sellers, it's a great time to sell, but buyers, again, you're going to be able to do a lot of negotiations still. We're not quite to, if it's that pocket listing that everybody loves, you're not going to be able to go under list price.
Correct.
But there's good to both sides.
Well, again, thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah.
And we'll have all of Nate's contact information below. Reach out to Nate if you have any specific questions about your own home buying or home selling needs. And as always, thanks again for coming on.
All right, thank you, Adrian.